Unmanned race cars, drag monsters, 1,000 horsepower hypercars. Today, we're counting down the Chevys that broke the dyno, shattered records, and made grown men cry. Welcome to Gearhead-Films. These are the most powerful Chevrolets ever made. And trust me, the #1 Chevy is set to change the hypercar world forever. Number 15, the 2020-2025 Corvette C8 Stingray, 495 horsepower. When it hit the streets in 2020, the C8 wasn't just a new Corvette. It was a mid-engine revolution that crept right into exotic territory. This was the vet where Chevrolet flipped the script, putting the engine behind you just like a Ferrari. It comes with a 6.2-liter LT2, which screams like something Enzo Ferrari would have approved. And the numbers: 495 horsepower, 470 pound-feet of torque. This is the most powerful production Stingray ever made. 0 to 60 takes only 2.9 seconds, and the speedometer needle won't stop until 194 miles per hour. The best part is, it's still priced like a budget rocket, something the blue-collar crowd can actually dream about. Add the Z51 package, and you get tighter suspension, upgraded brakes, and track-ready aggression. Number 14, the Corvette Z06 C6 generation, and the 2014 Camaro Z28, 505 horsepower. After watching the fabulously fast C5 Z06 catch a tremendous amount of disrespect, Chevy said enough was enough. In 2006, they armed the 6th generation Z06 with the biggest displacement, highest revving small block ever. Lurking under the hood was a hand-built all-aluminum V8, codenamed the LS7, displacing a massive 7.0 liters. This was no replacement for displacement in its purest form. The C6 Z06 made 505 horsepower. Everything was wrapped in a sleek, low-slung, aggressively stylish body, sporting carbon fiber from nose to tail. According to Chevy, it could rocket from 0 to 60 in 3.7 seconds, crush the quarter mile in 11.7, and top out at 198 miles per hour. But Chevrolet wasn't done. In 2014, they dropped the same engine into the Camaro Z28, a stripped-out, track-only menace. Its MSRP started at $75,000, which was bonkers for a Camaro. Goodies included Brembo brakes the size of dinner plates, carbon ceramic rotors, and a suspension so stiff your chiropractor could file a complaint. But what if I told you Chevy built something even crazier back in the 60s? Number 13, the 1963 Corvette Grand Sport C2 generation, 550 horsepower. This is what rebellion on four wheels sounded like when America didn't care about rules, gas mileage, or your eardrums. Built to destroy the Shelby Cobras, the 1963 Grand Sport was a secret weapon born from a covert mission inside GM. Out of a planned 125 units, only 5 were ever made before corporate found out. GM bosses wanted to stick to the 1957 AMA racing ban, but the Chevy engineers, they didn't care. Killing the Shelby Cobra, which was taking the checkered flag a bit too often, was the main target. Even more important was the plan to win the FIA endurance races, like Le Mans, before any other American car. As such, the Grand Sport power was devastating. It featured a bow-shaking 377 cubic inch aluminum V8 that made a reported 550 horsepower, more than most big blocks of that era. At the time, Shelby Cobras barely touched 340. Codename Project Lightweight, it only tipped the scales at 1,900 pounds. thanks to thin fiberglass body panels, an aluminum bird cage, and a stiffer tubular frame. This was 1,000 pounds lighter than any production-spec Corvette C2, making it a rocket that even the Soviet Union could fear. So what did it do to the Cobras? I'll tell you.
We jump from the California desert to the Bahamas, where we see the race cars being unloaded in preparation of Nassau Speed Week.
At Nassau Speed Week in the Bahamas, 1963, 3 Grand Sports hit the track and proved that Carroll Chevy's Cobras were not invincible. They did not just win against the Cobras, they humiliated them. Race journalist Leo Levine put it best.
The Chevrolet equipment won so easily, there was even some embarrassment on the part of the factory personnel, who had hoped the journey south would escape unnoticed. But at the same time, they were smirking.
Even the legendary Carroll Shelby admitted, "We were outgunned." He would later confess, if GM hadn't pulled the plug, the Cobra legacy would have been very different. Their next high horsepower Corvette in the 60s pulled no punches. It literally shook the drag strip to its core. Number 12, the 1967 Corvette L88, 560 horsepower. The L88 package Corvette is considered one of the holy grails in collector circles. On paper, Chevy said it made 430 horsepower. Reality, 560, if you could feed it a steady diet of 103 octane race fuel. Those horses came from a thunderous 427 cubic inch big block V8, housed under the L88's barely legal hood. This race spec engine was the second most powerful Chevy engine in the 60s, on par with the ZL1 and just behind the 7.4 liter big block. Legend has it, the L88 Vet could do 0 to 60 in 5 seconds and blast a quarter mile in 11.1. Its engine options cost around $950 and came with $1,500 in required performance upgrades, all stacked on top of the base Corvette's $4,781 price tag, nearly $60,000 in today's money. But here's the twist. Chevy didn't want you to buy this car. The car maker intentionally sabotaged the spec sheet, deleted the radio and the AC. Only 20 units of the L88 Corvette saw the light of day in '67, with around 200 more made for the C3 generation in '68 and '69. But since this was the Corvette GM didn't want you to own, of course, it became a legend. In 2014, a 1967 L88 Coupe sold at Barrett-Jackson for $3.5 million.
T-shirt, Bubba Watson, former Masters golf champion, encouraging the bidder.
Another sold for $3.52 million via Mecum auction. But here's the crazy part. The original owner of this Corvette had actually let it go for only $5 grand. $5 grand. That's all it took to own a legend, now worth millions. What comes next was never meant to be street legal.
Badass drag racing package called the Copo Camaro.
But before that, hit that subscribe button. The Copo is up next. Number 11, the 2020-2022 Copo Camaro, 580 horsepower. Copo Camaros don't play by street rules. They never have. Born in 1969, reborn in 2012, Copo has always been Chevrolet's code word for drag-only monsters built to destroy the Christmas tree at your local NHRA strip. The 2012 to 2020 Copo Camaros came packing 3 engine options. The most powerful was the 5.7-liter supercharged V8, which puts down 580 horsepower like a hammer, delivered through a race-prepped, drag-only 3-speed automatic. Just like the original, Chevrolet made only 69 examples of this special model between 2012 and 2020. No vehicle identification number, no license plate, and no mercy on the drag strip. All buyers got was speed, a parachute in the trunk, and an NHRA certified full roll cage. And yeah, you can't take it to the mall. The fuel cell and the battery live where your groceries should go. Despite not being street legal, buyers had zero hesitation paying $100,000 plus to own one. But one of Chevrolet's greatest flexes came in 2009.
Now it's official, we are in a recession. The recession actually started a year ago.
Right in the middle of a financial crisis, they strapped a supercharger the size of a bowling ball into the generation Corvette and unleashed a monster the world wasn't ready for. Number 10, 2009-2013 Corvette ZR1 Z6 generation. 638 horsepower. Built during GM's financial apocalypse, the third-gen ZR1, nicknamed the Blue Devil, was a middle finger to those who thought the Giant was going down. The supercar used a hand-assembled 6.2-liter LS9 V8. Topped with the Roots-style supercharger, it could make 638 horsepower. This was the fastest, most powerful, and most expensive car they had ever built.
You'd have to be bonkers to buy the Corvette, and that is why you should.
For Jeremy Clarkson, this was his car of the year. ZR1 launched from 0 to 60 in 3.4 seconds and ran the quarter mile in 11.3 on its way to a blistering 205 miles per hour. And it didn't just go fast in a straight line. It ran the green hell just 2 seconds slower than the Porsche 911 GT2 RS. To rein it all in, it came with cross-drilled Brembo carbon ceramic brakes, the same spec used on the Ferrari Enzo. GM was charging $105,000 compared to the $47,895 for the base coupe and an extra $30,000 for the Z06, and somehow it was still a bargain. Besides the Nissan GT-R, very few cars at this price could punch with the Europe's elite. Later, that beast of an engine found its way down under into the HSV GTSR W1, the most powerful production car in Aussie history. In HSV tune, it cranked out an eye-watering 636 horsepower. Just when you thought Chevy couldn't crank the madness any higher, they did, only 8 years later. Number 9, the 2017-2024 Camaro ZL1 and the Corvette Z06 C7 generation. 650 horsepower. GM's LT4 engine, the supercharged 6.2-liter V8 powering the ZL1, was borrowed straight from its big brother, the C7 generation Z06. Whether in the Camaro or in that Corvette, the numbers don't lie. It spits out 650 horsepower and 650 pound-feet of madness. With that power, the Camaro ZL1 served as the brawler, while the Corvette Z06 brought track precision. But all that changed with the 1LE variant, a variant that added tricks to the ZL1 straight-line brute. This track day version could smoke a few Ferraris and rattle a few Porsches. Don't believe me? The ZL1 1LE clocked a Nürburgring time of 7 minutes 16 seconds. That's faster than a Ferrari 488 GTB and faster than a Porsche 911 GT2 RS. The secret was $7,500 worth of aerodynamic black magic, a massive front splitter with twin dive planes, and a serious carbon fiber rear wing. Even standing still, this thing looked dangerous. In fact, those aggressive dive planes made it illegal to sell in Europe due to pedestrian safety laws. So tell me, which one are you taking for a weekend thrill? The passenger-slashing ZL1 1LE? Or the surgical assassin that is the C7 Z06? Comment below. Number 8. The 2025 Corvette E-Ray C8 generation hybrid. 655 horsepower. Meet the Corvette that rewrites the playbook. The E-Ray isn't just the first hybrid vet, it's also the first all-wheel drive Corvette in the badge's 70-year history. In Chevy's lineup, it slots between the base Stingray and the flat-plane crank Z06. But don't let that fool you. It's faster than the current Z06. That's because it combines the Stingray's 6.2-liter V8 with a front-mounted electric motor. Together, they unleash 655 horsepower and instant off-the-line torque. And with all four wheels digging in, the result is 0 to 60 in 2.5 seconds, and the quarter mile in 10.5. Being a hybrid vet, Chevy gave it a unique trick: stealth mode. You can avoid waking up your neighborhood, as the mode lets you sidestep the V8 startup arc, with the engine kicking in only past 45 miles per hour. For $106,900, the E-Ray comes loaded with carbon ceramic brakes, all-season tires, and snow mode stability. Yes, this is a Corvette you can daily through a blizzard. Not everyone has been cheering for this hybrid vet, especially the purists. But what really shuts them up and straps them in is the next naturally aspirated Corvette. Number 7. The 2023-2025 Corvette Z06 C8 generation, 670 horsepower. The C8 Z06 is a naturally aspirated ballistic missile, and it revs like nothing else in GM history. The soft limit is 8,600 RPM, with a hard cutoff of 9,000 RPM. The model's crown jewel is that hand-built 5.5-liter Gemini V8, cranking out 670 horsepower. It's officially the most powerful, naturally aspirated V8 ever in a production car. Nothing else even comes close from any other manufacturer worldwide. And with its flat-plane crank V8 design, the engine sounds like a Ferrari and a chainsaw had an argument on the racetrack, and neither backed down. Built to dominate GT3 tracks, the C8 generation Z06 hits 60 in 2.6 seconds, clears a quarter mile in 10.6, and tops out at 200 plus miles per hour. Its performance has taken America's darling and shoved it straight into exotic territory, but without the outrageous price tag. It starts at just $116,000 and still looks as good as Europe's best supercars. Hit that like button if you agree. Number 6, the 2025 Chevrolet Silverado EV with WOW mode. Yes, wide open watts is a real thing. 754 horsepower. Thanks to a massive Ultim battery pack, 4-wheel steering, and instant torque, the Silverado EV is part spaceship, part bulldozer. This EV packs more power than a Hellcat in a pickup. It sprints to 60 miles per hour in under 4.5 seconds while weighing nearly 4 tons. And somehow, it still tows over 10,000 pounds. Electric trucks weren't supposed to be supercars. Apparently, nobody told Chevrolet. Next car. Number 5. The Corvette DR1 C7 generation. 755 horsepower.
Introducing to the world the 2019 Corvette ZR1.
Oh, yes. This is the Corvette that didn't try to imitate the Ferrari. It stuck to its pure American roots with an engine that roars like a war machine. Rightly named the ZR1, this was a glorious send-off for the C7 generation. With a now retired 6.2-liter LT5 V8 Supercharged to the edge of insanity, it delivered a staggering 755 horsepower. This made it the most powerful Corvette ever built at the time, and it didn't go quietly. It went out swinging, roaring, and setting records. The 2008 ZR1 spec sheet included 0 to 60 in under 3 seconds, and a verified top speed of 214 miles per hour. To unlock its full fury, Chevy offered the ZTK Performance Package, complete with wild bodywork and a very aggressive aero. The carbon fiber wing was massive, functional, and adjustable. It delivered 950 pounds of downforce, helped by a huge front splitter. The C7 generation ZR1 started at 121K and marked the last time the Corvette engine was up front. Up next is a Camaro with no pistons. Number 4, the 2019 Chevrolet Camaro E-Copo, 800 horsepower. To celebrate 50 years of the Copo legacy in 2019, Chevy went fully electric and built something no one saw coming. A silent assassin born to destroy the quarter mile without making a sound. Revealed at SEMA 2018, the fully electric one-of-one E-Copo Camaro drag car was co-developed with Hancock and Lane Racing. Beneath the E-Copo was instant torque and fury from two 700 ampere electric motors. They delivered a jaw-dropping 800 horsepower. The power hit the rear wheels via a race prep turbo 400 automatic. Backing it all was an 800 volt fast charge system and a 32 kilowatt hour battery pack. In the quarter mile, the E-Copo was a piece of instant terror on the strip. It did a 9.83 second run at 134 miles per hour, and later clocked the 9.51 at 140 plus miles per hour. And just like a Hellcat-powered Demon 170, it can also do wheelies. But as wild as this one-off Camaro was, Chevy wasn't done shocking the world. Their next car welcomed us into the 4-digit horsepower club. Number 3, the 2023 Copo Camaro, 1,004 horsepower. Chevy didn't build this Copo to impress the EPA. They built for modern domination of everything else at the drag strip. This is the muscle car for those addicted to the quarter-mile doses of horsepower. At its core is the earth-shaking ZZ632 crate engine. This is a naturally aspirated 10.35-liter big block V8 that kicks the door off the dyno. The ZZ632 is the largest, most powerful engine Chevy has ever built, and it doesn't come in a car, it comes in a crate. The engine delivers 1,004 horsepower on regular 93 octane pump gas. No turbos, no superchargers, nothing electric, just pure old school displacement. But here's the catch. You can't drive the 2023 Copo Camaro to Starbucks. Just like other Copos, it's not street legal, as it comes with no VIN and no plates. Made for NHRA certified drag strip carnage, this Copo boasts the race-ready chassis and only comes with a parachute mount. Still, this big block Camaro isn't the top dog in horsepower among Chevys, because up next, Chevy broke its own record with a twin-turbo Corvette, unlike anything the world has ever seen.
Holy crap, that's fast.
Number 2, the 2025 Corvette ZR1, C8 generation, 1,064 horsepower. The 2025 C8 ZR1 is the first factory Chevrolet to join the 4-digit horsepower club, a twin-turbo evolution of the current Z06. It uses the same mid-mounted V8, now reborn as the LT7. Force-fed by massive turbos, the power output is a testament Chevy didn't hold back. It turns out an apocalyptic 1,064 horsepower
That's impressive enough, but it comes with no asterisk. That's pump fuel, no ethanol, no race gas, no special calibration, straight from the factory. That's what it delivers.
It even outguns the Demon 170. Performance stats include 0 to 60 in just 2.2 seconds, and less than 10 seconds in a quarter mile. According to Chevy, the current ZR1 clocked 233 miles per hour on a test track in Germany. This record was set by GM President Mark Royce, and not a professional driver. The ZR1's feature set is incredible. It comes with massive twin turbos, the first ever on a factory Corvette, a flow-through roof for cooling and downforce, full carbon fiber body panels, roof-mounted turbo ducts that are exclusive to the coupe, active aerodynamic features generating up to 1,200 pounds of downforce, an adaptive suspension tuned for track carnage, and the largest carbon ceramic brakes ever fitted to a Vette, excluding the next car on this list. What's coming next as number 1 is a Corvette so wild, it sounds made up. It breaks every rule and every record. Number 1, the 2026 Corvette ZR1X Hypercar. 1,250 horsepower. This is the new record-breaking Corvette, the ZR1X.
ZR1X!
Set to launch later this year, it's already shaping up to be Chevy's wildest creation ever. As per the marketing material and the spec sheet, this thing isn't a supercar, it's a hypercar with an American accent. The ZR1X is the most over-the-top vehicle Chevy has ever built, and the most extreme production car in GM history. Behind the seats is a twin turbocharged 5.5-liter LT7 V8. The engine comes paired to a hot-rodded version of the E-Ray's hybrid all-wheel drive system. Combined output, 1,250 horsepower. Let that sink in. This makes it the most powerful Corvette and production Chevrolet ever. And it doesn't just hang with hypercars. The ZR1X eats exotics for breakfast. The manufacturer says real-world buyers, not pro drivers, will be able to launch it to 60 in under 2 seconds. That's faster than a Model X Plaid. For the hybrid and gas-powered hypercars, only the upcoming Bugatti Tourbillon at 1,775 horsepower and the Koenigsegg Gemera, which packs 2,300 horsepower, come even close. But let's be honest, these cost millions of dollars and makes almost twice as much power. The only machines that might beat it to 60 are a couple of electric hypercars and supercars. You see why the ZR1X is mind-blowing? Chevy says this American hypercar will crush the quarter mile in under 9 seconds, trapping over 150 miles per hour. It even comes with a push-to-pass button, yes, just like an F1 car. Mapped to the cruise control stock, one press sends all 1,250 horses and full hybrid boost into tires. In terms of top speed, the new ZR1X goes beyond 233 miles per hour. The braking system is also equally insane, capable of 1.9 G of deceleration from 180 to 120 miles. The stopping is nearly twice the force of gravity. This is the most resilient braking system GM has ever engineered. And while the manufacturer isn't ready to talk pricing, this might be game over for most overpriced exotic hypercars. Rumors suggest under $300,000. If Ferrari and Lamborghini weren't paying attention before, they are now. Is this the loudest goodbye to powerful Chevrolet engines? Or is it just the beginning of something even wilder? Subscribe and share your thoughts in the comments. Until next time, stay loud.